Hello everyone, great to be with you and thank you for 17,000 subscribers. Now the information that's going to come out in this video is just unbelievable, but it has to come out. It has to come out because this is just shocking, totally shocking. There is a lot more around Stonehenge, a lot more than we are being told. It was the hub of a super ancient culture, and when I say super ancient, I mean pre-Stone Age, a technical era pre-Stone Age. Let me explain. I have a very good source who has told me a story that a couple traveling towards Stonehenge in the 90s, they decided to have a picnic. So they found a copse of trees, which is a bunch of trees, and often these trees are found on top of burial mounds. They're covering burial mounds, so farmers don't bother ploughing them because of the steepness of the mound, and trees eventually grow on top. And they found a copse of trees only 10 minutes drive from Stonehenge. And here's the thing. When they got to this copse of trees, they thought, okay, we're going to lay out a picnic mat. But actually what they found was a crater. The trees were concealing a sort of crater which went down very deep. And there was actually a staircase going down. Incredibly ancient. Who knows how old it was? And it went all the way down, and it took them 10 minutes just to go down this staircase to get to the bottom. So it was really deep, a really deep sort of crater. And at the bottom, there were more stone ruins, and there was actually stone ruins, bridges over like little rivers, and maybe, I wasn't sure if there was a waterfall, but small stone bridges over rivers and things like that. But the thing is, they couldn't stay for their picnic, because there was just this eerie, off-putting silence, just this eerie silence. And all around them was this eerie feeling that some ancient force that was resting there did not want them to be there. Did not want them to be there. So they decided to hightail it on out of there. And another thing about the site, there were no birds at all in those trees. There was no sound at all. There was just this deathly silence, the sort of silence you get even before paranormal phenomena occur. You know, if you're in the middle of the woods and suddenly it gets all silent, get out of there. It could be dangerous. And here's the thing, they took photos. And later when they checked the photos, these were the old negatives. All the photos they took from down in that crater with the ruins, they all came out black. It wasn't photogenic. Nothing. They were unable to take photos there. Anyway, they went down to a nearby pub, and they asked the locals in this pub about this place. And the funny thing is, no one actually knew about this place. No one knew about it. Now, I'm not sure if that's because they didn't want to trespass on some farmer's land or something, or what it was. And there's more. It seems to me that the way this garden or whatever it was, this crater was laid out with these ancient Lovecraftian type staircase descending downwards, and the description of a sort of stone bridges over small rivers, that is what a pleasure gardens was. Now, until the 19th century, people had very formal gardens, rich people. So they had one area with canals, endlessly long canals. They were trying to tame nature, show that how rich they were. There was one area they'd have an Italian gardens, a hedge would separate it from the French gardens, and there were different types of formal gardens like rooms, which was very interesting. And there was also a pleasure gardens, and a pleasure gardens, if it was Southern Ireland, they would have some tropical plants there like ferns or flowers from other countries. And they would have fake ancient ruins everywhere, which were often built out of real ancient ruins. And that's the thing. Pleasure gardens recycled ancient sites. Do you know the Marlborough Mount, Merlin's Mount? That was, it used to be, it's now at a girls, in the middle of a girls' school, but it used to be in the middle of a pleasure gardens. And the same thing happened in Poland. There was a mound in the middle of the pleasure gardens, which has now been destroyed. And you see this in many palaces. I've been in many palaces where in the pleasure garden there's an ancient mound or something because they want to show some pagan heritage, use it in their parties for a bit of who knows what, you know. It's just unbelievable. But here's the thing, 10 minutes drive from Stonehenge, Now, I was absolutely intrigued by something called the Stonehenge Triangle, which was discovered by Sir Norman Lockyer, whom I have unbelievable respect for. I think he's just an amazing... He was an amazing thinker, ignored by Egyptology because he solved the whole riddle of Egypt. He told the Egyptologists exactly when these tribes entered Egypt, where they came from. He just analysed all the different temples to find out how they were aligned. And he could track the movements of tribes across Egypt. Solstice tribes, equinox tribes. Unbelievable stuff. Totally ignored because Egyptologists couldn't understand the thing he wrote because it was all astronomy. And that they didn't become Egyptologists to do astronomy, let me tell you that. So he was ignored. And this Stonehenge triangle proves an interesting observation. And here is the observation. When you look at Stonehenge, all that trouble to bring those blocks 400 miles, 30 miles, and they don't even carve them consistently. Does that make any sense at all to you? So to me, that showed me the stones were already down there. They were already there. And astronomers wanted to use them to set up a circle, so they did so. They were not brought from anywhere, unless they were brought from somewhere tens or hundreds of thousands of years ago. Those stones were always there. Perhaps the blue stones were brought from Ireland. I think they might have been quarried in Wales, then taken to Ireland, then brought from Ireland. That would be consistent with the legend. But all the other stones were already there. All those huge sarsens. And they used what was there to make a rudimentary structure which followed the laws of astronomy to honour the site, the location. And the existence of this Stonehenge triangle proves what's going on, because it's actually not a triangle, it's actually a hexagon, and the centre is Old Sarum. And I've made a video saying this is very similar to the description of the capital of Atlantis. Now, I know Britain might not be Atlantis because some people prefer the Caribbean, but both the British area and the Caribbean area were... Britain, Ireland and Doggerland were all above ground. There was a huge landmass in warm temperatures in 8000 BC. So was the Caribbean. So were a lot of places. I think the Caribbean's a bit too far away to have made war with Athens in the Stone Age, personally. That's why I prefer the British area as Atlantis. But here's the thing. It says in the translation of Atlantis that the capital was a hill with trenches carved around it, and that's just what you see at Old Sarum. And they say Old Sarum is one of the oldest settled sites in Britain. They say it goes to 3000 BC. I think it probably goes way earlier, way earlier. And actually, it was quite a small area, which was where the palace was, so it entirely fits the descriptions. Also, 6 miles away there was a wall, and if you look at this hexagonal wall, it looks like there was a hexagon of fortresses around a circular wall 6 miles away from Old Sarum. And this fits totally with the Atlantis description. And I think all these stones came from just a lost super civilization, and they were reused. Again and again and again. Okay, and then there's going to be a tunnel under Stonehenge as well. Do you know they're building a tunnel under Stonehenge, right under Stonehenge? They are going to encounter this ancient, super ancient civilization, all the rocks. They're going to bore right through them. And we're never going to know because it's not archaeologists doing it. There's no archaeology down there because how dare there be any civilization 100,000 years old? No, that's not what archaeology says. So they're going to bore right through that and no one's ever going to know. No one. Well, anyway, guys, I hope you found that interesting and I'll see you in the next video. And please thumbs up, whatever you want. It's fine. See ya.